I nearly left for the gym without my headphones. Had them charging on the kitchen counter. That wouldn't have been awesome, right? I mean, I don't need music to have a good lift, but it doesn't hurt either, right? It doesn't hurt either. I get the logic, when somebody's like, probably the most intense version of this is when they're like, okay, I don't want any I don't want any music, I don't want to be on my phone at all. I just want to, I just want to lift my weights to be done, right? Because they don't want to. In their mind, it's like, well, if I forget my headphones, then I'm gonna have a worse lift. So if I never need them, then I'll never have to remember them. Which, I mean, fine, but I don't know. I can definitely say that, at least for my most intense sets, like some of my craziest sets of squats, having a fucking Attack on Titan Irwin speech funk edit, it's got me in the zone. But I guess that's just a personal choice for you to make for yourself. So back is on the agenda for today. Um, Going to the Y again, just because I don't really. There's a couple of gyms that I'll go to, but there's no need for me to drive 20 minutes just for back. The Y's got pretty much everything I want. So I think I'm gonna start off with yeah, either a seated row machine, like the seated hammer strength row. Oh, it's an ambulance. You guys got mad at me for not stopping for an ambulance once. The guy in front of me didn't stop, but I see your point. What was I saying? Yeah, so seated row. Last time it was taken, so instead I started off with some single arm cable rows, right? Just kind of balancing myself against the upright. But I mean, the whole workout's just it's just gonna consist of rows and pull downs, probably some pullovers at the end. I just read a comment about the chest video yesterday. Why does he only do 3 movements and then only 1 or 2 sets of the last ones? What's the point of that? Like, so the chest day yesterday, it was I think it was 4 or 5 sets of incline bench, like 4 sets of cable press, and then uh, 1 set of pec flies on the pec deck, and then 1 set of cable flies. So, I mean, I guess I could kind of understand, like, why would you want to do a movement, or why would you want to do an exercise, but only do 1 set of it? But, I mean, how I look at it is it's not about any particular exercise in the workout, right? When I think of a workout, right, the overarching description of it is, I mean, for me, 11 sets for one body part, right? For whatever reason, that number just feels good, right? By the time I've done that many sets, not only am I pumped, but also subjectively, I just feel like I did enough, but not too much either, right? So for chest, that means I've got 11 sets to, stimulate some growth, right? Build up some fatigue, move a lot of weight, get a crazy pump. So the first half, the heavy pressing, that's what that's what I'm doing, right? And then I move on to a cable press, and then by then I've done 9 sets. I've only got 2 left, so I just want to finish off the pump. I'll just do whatever movement I know is gonna let me do that, which the pec fly and then the cable fly was perfect for. So I think it's maybe not a flawed mentality, but it's just not what I think about when I describe a workout, right? For me, most of my lifts are focusing on heavier stuff in the beginning and lighter stuff in the end, right? And I'll just do movements that I know feel good. Like, for biceps, I think the last arm day, I did 5 different types of curls. So 2 sets of one, 2 of another, just kept jumping around. But in that same workout, for triceps, I only did 2 movements, right? Just push downs and some cable crossbody extensions. But getting back to back, let's just throw my straps on and get started. Nothing else to talk about. This hammer strength machine, it only holds 6 plates, or 6 of the plates that are at this gym. Um, you know, I've been known to throw around 7, especially when you're fresh. I mean, when you're fresh on back, you're pretty fucking strong. So instead of doing the 7 plates and I'm like trying to fucking jerry rig this shit like a fool, well, I don't mind adding weight in a way that the machine isn't intended for, but there's really no way to do it here. So instead, kind of to make it harder, right, for the first set, I'll grab this handle that's in the lower position, right? I don't know how much you know about torque and fucking mechanics, but the closer something is to the point of rotation, right, the more force you're gonna have to exert. It's the lower handle is harder, right? So the first set I'll do with the lower handle. Depending on how strong I am, I'll stay there until I think the higher handle would be better. Oh, fuck. All right, I'm moving up to the higher handle. Fuck. So, I mean, again, no actual. Am I in frame? There we go. No actual lat pull down at this gym. Not awesome, but single arm pull downs, especially with a stack that's this heavy. I mean, you're getting the stimulus you want. Oh, fuck. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to do something upper back biased. So these are going to be essentially seated rows, right? One handle for each arm, but kind of like the cable presses that I was doing yesterday, right? It's not just pulling towards my body, right? The cables are kind of wide. So not only am I getting like a good rowing sensation, I'm also kind of pulling it towards my, my median line of my body, right? So it's like combining, I don't know what it's like combining, right? But it's basically, instead of doing a row just straight towards myself, the handles are wider. So I'm pulling more like this. I mean, 3 of these, my trap should be fucking thrashed. Plus my rhomboid should be going crazy. Okay. One more. Okay, let's do one set of single arm pullovers and be done. So pullovers with a rope or with a bar, it's just not my favorite. I really just can't fucking squeeze that hard at the bottom. And sure, I mean, I can still get a really good stretch, but you know, if it's the last movement of the muscle group, I'm not trying to do a lot of weight, but I'm trying to like fucking make my whatever muscle I'm hitting burn. Like if I was doing biceps, you know, usually, I mean, you've seen me curl the 85s before. Not really as of late, I've been doing the 75s, but last set, I don't mind doing the 30s and just seriously fucking like squeezing. So that's the plan here with these single arm pullovers. So pretty much face the cable and pull towards your, a little bit outside of your hip, like you're trying to sheath the sword. And you should feel a little something. Okay. Done. What time is it right now? Say, yeah, that took me like 45 minutes. For one muscle group, going longer than that, you're probably either resting too long or you've got too much volume, right? By the time you've done, I say 8 to 12 sets-ish, reasonably hard, you should be fully pumped. And that should have been enough work to stimulate something, either growth in a bulking phase or, you know, enough to maintain your muscle during dieting phase. But let's go check the pump. I like karate as much as the next guy, but I really wish that the karate class that they're doing over there was in this little studio room instead. Because that one, I don't know what's going on here. It's like a safety feature, but that one just has one light on at a time, right? And that's just strict down lighting. The background's like super dark, goon lighting, right? This is close enough. I mean, this one's brighter than the other ones. You know, if I want to check my pump, I want to see it in the best situation possible, right? Some sharp down lighting and a mirror. That's really all you want. So let's see. Actually, wait a second. Let's do a through the shirt pump check. It feels pretty good. I tell you what. Boy, You tell me, there's some solid width in there? Ugh. Let's see it. Let's see it for ourselves. Too high. It's a good sign when taking off a double XL shirt becomes a slight challenge. Is this double XL? Oh, what does it even say? Whatever. Let's see what we're working with here. In the hostile emblem tank. All right, 2 out of the 4 poses for back. Lat spread and double bi, front and rear. It's fucking hard to even flex with a goddamn back pump. Oh. You tell me, was that a... Well, I guess I'll review the pump in the car before I start the car talk. But pretty fucking solid. Now, as I'm sure you've noticed, 2 things did not happen this back day. Number 1 was deadlifts. I've got into this before. It's just a lot of energy for comparably not a lot of back stimulation, right? I'd rather spend the amount of energy that somebody would put into, like 3 sets of heavy deadlifts into, some chest supported rows or pull downs. Plus, the name of the game with bodybuilding training is pretty much isolation movements, right? So doing deadlifts, you're gonna work your glutes, your hamstrings. It's back day. It's not posterior chain day, right? So just doesn't make sense for me. If you like doing them, don't stop just because I said so. But if you follow that logic and all you're going in to do all you're going to the gym for that day is to get a back pump, you're probably better off skipping them. And then also, no direct trap work, right? Those hammer strength rows, I'm working some traps. And those wide cable rows, that was seriously getting some trap activation. Like those pull downs were almost all lats, but those seated rows with the cables wide, rhomboids were firing. What are the other? I forget those other little muscles right there, kind of by your rear delt. Who cares? But those were going off mid traps. So I said it when I was doing it. It's definitely a different kind of squeeze than just doing a normal kind of seated cable row. So if you got access to that kind of machine, fucking try it out. But that's all I got. So I'm gonna go back up there, grab my shit, get in the car, slam the cluster dextrin shake. Back complete. All right, I gotta. After I stopped recording the pose down, I got like this wave of anxiety for a second. I thought I forgot to turn my mic on. Because sometimes what'll happen is if it's not fully charged, I'll have it on the way to the gym, and then once I stop recording, I'll turn it off to save battery. What would you guys do? A whole video, no commentary? I guess I just shorten it to the clips of the lifts. Yeah, it'd be all right. Not planning on making you sit through that though. I need to put my 2 cents into everything every so often. So, a couple scoops of cluster dextrin unflavored, and then 2 scoops of the milk chocolate ISO H1. Protein powder. God dang it. The protein. I mean, I say this all the time. I'll just do it again. Anybody who's watched all these gets kind of tired of the post-workout shake description. But the protein isn't the point, right? That's just because you're a fucking lifter. You need protein throughout the day. May as well get it right now. Carbs are the real important part. Right? Guess what do you think your muscles are fucking burning when you work out? It's not burning fat, all right? That's not how that shit works, right? I remember I was just watching a clip of Mike Menser saying some shit about this. Right? When you're lifting, you're burning carbs. I'm not saying I didn't know that. I'm just whatever. So you got to replenish, right? You empty your gas tank, you got to fill it back up. Pretty simple stuff. Oh, that's a cute dog just now. Hey. This guy parked like an asshole in front of me, but I think I can still pull out in front of him. I mean, between them. But, yeah, we're good. We are good. So, I feel like I already discussed the freaking back day mid lift plus during the pose down. So, what else? What else needs referenced? What else warrants mentioning? Full day of eating? No, what am I talking about? Yeah, just be patient. Okay, come on. You know what? You know what comes to people who wait? Good things. But I was gonna say, bulk will continue onward. The 200s will be hit, and then, oh no, I do not mean 200 pounds. Come on, how small do you think I am? No, we'll get into the day 200s, but I mean it's getting close to done. It's getting close to done. Tomorrow is going to be. What is tomorrow going to be? Arms. Tomorrow's going to be an arm day. Who doesn't love a good arm pump? Who doesn't freaking love a good arm pump? For those curious about a laundry update, I'm making headway. Making headway. I've got 2 loads. Or when I left for the gym, I had a load in the washer and I had a load in the dryer left. The rest was nice and folded. My room's actually starting to look straight for once. Oh yeah, so food. I think I'm gonna get Cane's again. I don't know. I guess I'm just a Cane's addict. But that shit is good. I'll tell you what, that shit is good. I didn't check the macros on it last night. I forgot to enter it. But I got a Caniac and a Sprite. Proteins, fats, carbs. That's all food is, man. Right? If you read into it too much, you're just going to overcomplicate it, and then it's going to be hard to, get into, right? Like the idea of gaining weight or, training and whatnot. There's kind of, stereotypes that go along with it, which I feel kind of block potential new lifters from, seriously wanting to dive in, right? Like, who wants to, if you just take a layman, just normal Joe, not lifting, and, maybe he's got some aspirations in his mind, starting to kind of develop, right? He's kind of starting to get an itch for some more muscle, but then he thinks to himself, oh, well, then I'm gonna have to eat chicken and rice all day, or fuck that, man. Who cares, right? I mean, chicken and rice, that's definitely not how I go about it, as I've referenced, right? For me, in a bulking scenario, I'm just trying to get as much freaking food into my system as possible, within reason, right? Obviously, if I started to put on seriously excess body fat, or if you're starting to put on too much body fat too quickly in your bulk, then overestimated how much food you need, right? You want to be above your daily caloric expenditure, right? You want to eat so much food where it's more than you need just to stay the same weight, right? Because if you don't eat more than that, you're not going to gain any weight, you're not going to grow. But you don't want to eat so much food that your body's like, oh my god, this is too much. This is so many fucking calories. I'm just storing it as fat. Fuck it, right? There's a fine line between, you know, what am I trying to say? Between effectively gaining, lean tissue and unnecessarily putting on loads of body fat, right? Because anybody that gets caught in the perma bulk situation where they're a lifter, they're lifting hard, but they're getting real soft. You're kind of you're shooting yourself in the foot. There we go. Kicking yourself in the foot. You're shooting yourself in the foot, man. Because sure, you might be getting big and strong, but you've got to deal with that body fat eventually, right? For me, I mean, I guess I'm a little bit spoiled. It hasn't been a problem for me to be, overly, or to have a lot of excess body fat. But, you're not going to want to stray too far from 20%. That's for sure. Because then if you try to trim down, you're going to have to diet for so long and so hard that you're probably going to cut into the muscle that you just worked so hard to build. So, in terms of dieting, obviously once I start, trying to cut down, I'll have a bit more to say about that. We can get into, some basic, we can get into my primal tenets. Or is it primal pillars? I don't know. We'll get into my sort of go-to tips and tricks for fat loss and muscle maintenance. One, which I think you already know, is did you say it out loud? You should have. Cardio. I'm starting to want to give up, guys. I keep talking to you about it, but I'm losing faith that you're going to start doing it. Really upsetting. Really, honestly upsetting. But whatever. You're leaving gains on the table. It's not going to hurt me. So, plan right now. Home, food. Actually, no. What am I thinking? Shower, food, laundry, vitamins, being multivitamin, fish oil. I take my creatine at night, whatever. And then get some sleep before cardio in the morning. As long as I'm well rested, well hydrated, and well fed, then I'm gonna have a insane arm pump tomorrow. So keep an eye out for it. I'll see you then.